So
Uh-huh.
when you put in a tag, that will help you identify quickly how many future positions you had already taken, how many crypto positions you have, and so on and so forth, how much cash you are handling. So this tag will help you identify, and if you maybe filter by tag and then take the net outstanding value, and then you sum up all of these three values, you get your total MTM, which is your mark to market at any given point of time.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
if you want to start with just taking the price and signal, as you just mentioned in the second part of your explanation, that is also fine. But if you look at it in this way, it is just the price, quantity, and signal for three different asset classes. And when you merge them into one, so that is just your in Pythonic terms, it would be df.stack. You can look it up later on. So if you have df.stack, then one of the rows you are converting into columns and vice versa with stack and unstack. So it may seem complex, but it is essentially just the same data represented in a different way.
Okay. So the tag of the asset is that whether this asset is future or forward or cash or something else, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
that can be the tag for your see, your tag does not necessarily have to be just the asset class. Say, just imagine you are running 4 different strategies, and 3 different algo traders are handling it for maybe 5 different clients. So just having one single tag can incorporate all of this information. So it can be maybe commodity underscore uh, algo number underscore your ID underscore client ID. So it is up to you how you want to use the tag to filter the data. So if you smartly design the tag, you only require only one extra column. But if you do not use the tag very efficiently, then you will end up with maybe 4 or 5 different tags, one for asset class, one for currency, one for client, one for algo, and so on.
Okay, I see. I'll try to improve with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So when I put in trades, I started putting tags on the trades, and so there, when you get the output, it'll say. I mean, what we can work on what it needs to say. I think I've been putting. It's like 2 letters, like LS, SS, LF, SF, which is long spot, short spot, long future, short future. Those are the tags that I was using. I've been using.
Okay.
But that's a little new because I just started putting that in there when I'm developing the RMS. And so, but yeah, I think that was one thing I was thinking of too. And then, so Gaurav, for the trade book and the order book, how granular should it be? Is it so there's it, should the trades be at a trade level and then the order book be rolled up? Is that kind of the takeaway? Or should we have every trade in the order book also?
So in terms of how granular the order book should be, I personally believe it should always be granular to the level of the trade. And whatever otherwise information you require, as you mentioned, you can roll it up to end of day basis, or you can roll it up for every 8-hour basis, or you can roll it up to maybe monthly basis. So all that handling can be done using the filters or the tag filters or whatever you call it. It's just like time series data. If you have minute level data, you can resample it to maybe 15-minute and 1-hour data. But if you only have 1 hour data, you cannot recreate the minute data.
Okay. And so it is going to be, so it's as opposed, so it's going to be like, so for instance, on an open, like a round trip trade for us is basically 2 legs and 4 trades, right? So there's an opening leg, which is, either a long spot in a short future or short spot in a long future. And then the closing leg is the opposite.
So if you look at one single trade, that is 4 entries on the order book and 2 entries on the trade book. Those 4 entries on the order book can be used to recreate the 2 entries on the trade book.
Okay.
It's nothing new information is there. The trade book is just a different way of representing the order book. But we keep it separate because at some point of time, you will be requiring your equity curve or your drawdown curve or how your portfolio is performing. So that is required. And that is why we are maintaining the trade book as separate. And in terms of like when you are developing the order book or trade book, Wenchi and Kiyu, you should try to keep in mind that a single trade is one record or one row, right?
Okay.
Single trade is one record or one row. And you should think of like just think it in a very simple fashion, how you see the tabular data on Excel, right? There are various columns and there are various rows. Yeah. So whatever columns, if you can imagine those columns to be the dictionary keys in Python, right? Dictionary keys, the left-hand side of the dictionary part. And whatever values are being populated, those would be the dictionary values. So the reason why I'm drawing this analogy here is whatever trade Matthew does in his own module, he is supposed to give you one dictionary. And using that dictionary, you can populate that record in your order book.
Yeah.
Using 2 dictionaries from you can populate 1 row in her trade book. So this is how it is all connecting module to module, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the previous exercise which you already did, like we had mapped out which data will be passed. So that was essentially both of you agreed that, okay, my dictionary will have these many key values and the key values will be named such and such.
Okay, I got it.
So even for testing, where if you think that it's difficult to test without real data, you need real data for testing. You can just create a very simple random number generator which returns a dictionary of that format which I just mentioned, and you can put it in a for loop and you can populate maybe 100 row order book just for testing. Okay, definitely the drawdown curve and equity curve will all be messed up, but for testing the sanctity of how you are performing the column and row operations and how your book is connected with Q's book, that would be enough, I believe. You can like manually sense check it in Excel as well.
Okay, I'll try that. That's a great suggestion.
So I have a very real, well, it's a problem with the demo account that I noticed that it's kind of frustrating, I guess. And I don't know exactly how to deal with it. I've been thinking about what to do. So I wanted to get your take, Gaurav. The prices in the demo world on OKEX are not the prices in the real world. And so
Are they delayed or they are just different?
I think they're just different. I don't even think they're delayed. They're just different. And so I'm like, it's kind of frustrating because we can run this all, but it's kind of a mixture of real, like all the data I'm getting, like for instance, signal generation, And even the RMS data that I'm like pulling, part of it is the price. And so the prices that I'm pulling are like real prices. But then when I go to place the actual orders, it's funny because the future prices are, I think they're correct or pretty close to it, but the spot prices are just off. And so I don't know what you recommend, if I should just switch brokers, maybe switch brokers, or maybe I don't know what the answer is. So I wanted to ask you.
So before switching the brokers, with the current setup, let's try to complete the entire pipeline of the project. We can come to an agreement that, okay, this data is dummy, so maybe the strategy is not performing well. But in that case, I believe we can keep it as a second priority to explore which brokers are there, what API options are there, and how cost effective they are, if at all they are available for you. And
makes sense.
If it seems that it's entirely not possible from US mainland, then after the initial exploration, maybe you can reach out and we will think of something if there's anything I can do from my end on that front.
Okay. Thanks, Gaurav.
Regarding the deployment on your server, from a DevOps standpoint, is there any other problem which you're facing?
So far, no, but I haven't deployed the RMS in the virtual server. The signal is still running, and it ran through a contract expiration, which was good because that was one of the, the data basically disappears and then it's a new contract. And so it has to, I put some logic in to handle it. So it seems to have handled it, which is good. But I haven't actually deployed the RMS because I'm still working on it. And so that'll be the next, I guess, test. But the signal gen is still running. It's good. And I haven't touched it.
You earlier mentioned that the RMS is just a bunch of if statements, and I would like to just add to that a bit. It's totally fine. I mean, a lot of RMS modules are just a bunch of if statements. Definitely not in deployment grade, but for academic projects like this, it is totally fine. And
it's a very convoluted, complicated if statement, though. It's like I thought it was going to be easier doing it. I'm at line 150, and I'm like, man, this is hard. This is harder than I thought.
You can think of it as the first stepping stone, and as you rightly mentioned, the complexity keeps on growing, right? So next up, when you try to incorporate another risk mitigation feature, then you will realize, okay, maybe I can pair the second part and fourth part of your RM with this. So that will give way to better development, right? So then you may think of vectorizing that code, or you may think of breaking it down into further sub modules. So that is just on a need basis, right? So you first go with what you have, and if at all it's required, you can think of further development on that. One more thing, Matthew, if you have not implemented the Git on your server, please make it a point to have maybe backups downloaded from there whenever you change the server side code.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I did. So I've been using Git to update the code, but I've been doing it from my machine. So I've been doing, like in the command line.
Yes, that's a very good
Git add and git add, git push, git whatever, get all that, get commit, get push. That's how I've been updating it. So
great. So as always, if you have any further questions apart from our weekly meeting, please feel free to drop me a mail or message.
okay. Thanks, Gaurav.
Thank you, girl.
Thanks.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. So like I said before, team, I have, I mean, maybe Wangxi and Kiayu, you didn't get the invite. But so I'm waiting for the confirmation, but Token Metrics should be with us next week. No, not next week, the 22nd at 9:10 a.m. I'm still confirming. And for Matthew, obviously, it could be very interesting for you to talk about what the project is about, and let's see where we could take it from there. Maybe they would like us to work on something. It could be interesting too, especially in the spring. I'm thinking maybe for KU, Yang, and Wangsu, that could be interesting. And Matthew, I know that he's been hiring some people. I mean, one of the guys that I connected to in LinkedIn, I don't know if you've seen him. I know you're busy, but you go on LinkedIn, I connected you with this guy who also works there. He's an MFE, but from, I think, Colombia, whomever. And he worked there as an intern, and he got
So this week, I had a conversation with Artem. We shared some resources, and I'm still doing research in DeFi. So for next Friday, I'm hoping to propose a few different strategies within the DeFi, especially Uniswap.
Okay.
So that's the target for next week.
Very good. Bryn?
Hello.
Hello.
Wait, Yuran, when did you talk to Artem? We didn't have a meeting this week, did we?
We do. We have weekly meeting.
No, I wasn't. Okay. On
Check
Thursday? On Tuesday?
On Tuesday, same old time.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were gonna have.
Tell me a little bit. What is it that what are you doing in this project? Can I see you, because I need to remember what you look like?
No, because this computer, the camera can't work.
Oh, the camera can work. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me.
What is that? Oh, actually, I had a meeting with Aaron like on Wednesday afternoon. So we were been talking about like the whole project that and everybody's doing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of just copy the code that from the GitHub link, and I was trying to figure out that how the code's working and how the yeah, so I thought of just doing this. It's like to see like how the code is working, and he was like asking me to watch some YouTube video and about this Python stuff. So that's sort of just what I'm doing right now.
So you're not working on it. You're just catching up yet, right? You haven't started working.
Yeah,
on
right.
it.
Because I'm kind of just like slow speed up with them. So I'm kind of
okay. Remus, so go back to what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what I was trying to do is, because Herium already have the models set up, so I was trying to basically look into the Shapley value and look into the mathematical equation, and then trying to fit his code into the Shapley value, and then to trying to understand which one kind of identifies the best. So the interpretability, which one is more conclusive than the other ones, and trying to give him a report by next week.
Okay, so you're doing, so you're trying to make it fit. Okay, so very good. Chitali, what are you doing?
So again, Ramos and I, we're working on the SHAP part. I have gotten through with the code. I'm going to meet up with Kiran and the rest of the team this next coming Monday so that we can compare the results of Lime and SHAP, because that's essentially what Harium wants us, expects out of us. So Kiran is through with the Lime part. I'm just waiting to meet up and compare the results. So I think with that we'd be in a very good place by next week.
Okay. And Kieran?
Wait, Jatari. Okay,
Yes.
you're just working on Shepherd's Ramos, right?
We're
Yeah.
not really working together, but
Yeah.
since Harium type of model, like, or even like Eli 5, I know you were discovering that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I already worked through it. Are you guys still struggling with the code, or like what's going on?
I might need some help because like sometimes it runs and some of them it's not really running properly.
What type of help?
For me right now, my Jupyter Lab is not working. I'm not able to connect with Python 3. So there's no kernel signal. So I'm just trying to set that up. I think hoping the next 2 days I should be through with it. But
okay, basically you guys want to finish Shep next time we meet Harium, but you haven't